So we've been reading out a few as we've been going, but a couple more examples of it. Not quite sure how I interpret visual images, but AI agents, access to user docs and icons. I think that can be solved. Automation of follow-up on overdue invoices. That one we can solve. Integration of external induction and certification sites to Kim HR modules.
Beautiful, that was from CSA. Great idea.
Brilliant. Connecting different pieces of software so that they work seamlessly.
Who's got the amazing handwriting?
That's good handwriting.
Who is it?
And securing my digital identity. And guess what? They didn't put their identity on it.
Whose handwriting's that? That's amazing. Beautiful.
Hey, Litza.
That's a giveaway now.
Yeah. These are fantastic. And the interesting thing is they're eminently solvable. Like you go through most of those examples and they're actually in the room. The answer is already in the room.
That's exactly right. Before we started, no idea. What we did do though is try and ensure we had as much opportunity to fulfill on the task as we could. How do we do that? We get a great room of people come out with great ideas, problem statements that are possible to solve because you've worked and you understand how business operates. The second piece of the puzzle was that we needed to find some incredible mentors that were prepared to give up a day of their time to help young people grow. Aspirational young people in university that are going to be the next of the future workers for us. And then the final thing is we needed some young people to come into the room, put themselves out there under risk and potential duress as we chatted over the day. I don't know anything about AI. What am I going to do with this? We've got to a point where we have 2 projects that have been completed, both done in different ways. Well, when I say completed, I don't know, but I've been told they're completed. That's what it is. So on that front, we've got 2 teams going to present. I would really like you to get around the first team when they come up, which is team, I won't say a number because it sounds like I'm favouring, team Z, which is led by Candice, Mackay and Kai. Could you please come up and present what you did today? Massive round of applause. And Robin's also attending the stage because Robin was working across both teams to add his support, knowledge and experience to make sure we landed. Now, is Narvin in the room? Narvin, where did you go, mate? That's right, you were part of it, man. I saw you at the front end. You get to be part of it too. Please grab a seat. So we're talking morning tea, 10 o'clock, 10:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock, okay? So just put that into perspective, please.
All right, can everyone hear me? Lovely. Okay, so our team is going to present what we did and what our challenge was. They were fantastic working together. And I'm going to hand over to Mikhail, and she will be able to explain a little bit about the project, what we were given to start with, and the process that we went through.
Alrighty guys, so this presentation will just be exploring AI and how we used it to monitor employees, their movement, especially when they leave. So our question was, how can we track the movement of key contacts in our database? This is so important for businesses in sales who use different platforms with individuals. And we wanted to figure out a way that we could basically track them so that we could reach out to them when they leave to a new company and be like, are you still interested in using our product? And would your business also be interested in it? So we thought about how this problem affects a business, and we thought about the customer retention side of it. So by identifying when an individual changes their job, marketing and sales are able to approach them and engage with their customers very early on, get that competitive edge by starting early, and basically be like, hey, you've already used our platform, we know you love it, we've seen you use it, would you be willing to transfer it into your new business, and would you be willing to promote it to your new company? That is also promoting a proactive growth by reintroducing that familiar technology to that individual and sharing it across the board, which also adds value to the business. There's many benefits to this, so early engagement opportunity for businesses. It allows it to basically, our platform allows businesses to have notifications very early on when an individual leaves the company. It allows them to proactively reach out to those individuals and really push their name forward and get in first. It increases their customer retention and it expands into new markets. So to achieve this, it is essential to develop an AI-driven filtering platform that processes and verifies the job positions of contacts with a given database. To facilitate this, we leverage data from LinkedIn accounts to manage and track employees' job-related information and updates. The next step involved determining how to integrate this platform with AI technology to effectively extract and process the relevant data. There were several approaches we could have taken to address this task. One option was to build a platform from scratch, while the other option was to fully rebuild, and option 3 was to scrape and recreate. All these options come with different advantages and different disadvantages. Due to obviously time constraints and money, we chose to go with option 3. So scraping is basically taking already established programming and using it to build your own thing. You don't have to start from scratch. We actually completed this within 30 minutes. Yes, and it's a lot cheaper. From scratch, it's about $15,000 upfront, and upkeep would be about $400 per month. SaaS platform will be about $80K ongoing. Fully pre-built is $2,260 per month, and scrap and recreate is only $3,300 setup plus $200 per month. So which one, as a company, would you choose?
So we integrated the system directly with HubSpot, which was chosen because it's such a popular platform when it comes to CRMs. And utilizing the basic version with built-in integration capabilities, this allowed for straightforward mapping of fields and ensured that the contact records in HubSpot were automatically updated, which is what the client would want. If we had relied on LinkedIn's Sales Navigator, achieving this functionality would have required an upgrade on the HubSpot plan at a significant cost, which is the $2,360 that you saw before. Our solution bypasses this need, streamlining the process and reducing the cost. So the images you see up there are the LinkedIn Navigator. So we've put a advanced filter down for who has recently updated their LinkedIn profiles and change in where they are working. So with that, we are able to link that to Phantom Buster, and that platform scrapes websites, and in this particular instance, it's scraping LinkedIn to search for the relevant fields that we have selected, being their name and current occupation being the main two things that we're looking for. So using the URL from the LinkedIn Navigator, once we insert that, it will be able to continuously look over that website and find that who's changed jobs for as long as we want, essentially. So the top image there is just to, the images there are to grab the information that we want using Phantom Buster and send it to HubSpot, which will be the CRM that is updated and continuing to keep relevant information. So the image up the top there is showing who has most recently updated their LinkedIn profiles. So as you can see, there's the 4 names that you see there, and if we go back, those names are matching that of the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So that's showing that the system, our program, works as intended. And on the bottom there, originally, if you look at the image before, it's just once and manually. But of course, because you want it to continue to work, you can change that field to be repeatedly and once a day, which is probably ideal because you don't need to check it that often.
AI is still growing and it's so beneficial for businesses. It allows us to predict and analyze our future for different customer database. It is becoming sophisticated and enabling businesses to predict future sales and opportunities. The automated process allows us to reduce our maintenance cost, and it also means there's no human error and everything that occurs will occur according to plan. It is quick, It is easy and it is a great opportunity and allows businesses to have time to do other things. It enhances your customer database as it will enable better communication and collaboration between employees, employers, managers. It enhances the customer database by just basically allowing you to have a limit of opportunities. AI is more than just ChatGPT, it's so much more, and the broad of the building blocks will continue forever. Thank you.
So these guys... Hello. Okay. So these guys did a great job in working with us to actually make this happen, but it came from the question of if somebody changes jobs, how do we find that hero staff member again for our sales team? And we wanted to execute that as quickly and as seamlessly as possible with basically no human intervention. And by doing that in a fully automated way, it means that no one's having to go to LinkedIn, go look for profiles, who's changed. We don't have to download CSVs, none of that. So this system will operate completely independently, update the CRM, and then whatever workflow that you have from there to email and reach out to them and say, hey, we've seen that you've now moved companies. You want to have a chat about the product, how we can perhaps build that into where you are now. We can do all of that instantly with very, very low cost to set that up. As we said, the setup costs about $3,500, and then the ongoing cost for those tools is about $200 a month. So we've been able to do that for a shoestring kind of budget for something that is hugely impactful for the business. Yes, the guys also use the AI tool to build their presentation. What was it called? Gamma. Yeah. Any Q&As, any questions? Hands up, happy to answer.
Hi guys. Just wondering if you're able to scrape real estate data. So as a property developer, we find it very time consuming to try and find a trend in which suburb or area to go to. There's CoreLogic, there's all sorts of platforms out there, but you don't want to be subscribing $80 here, $80 there, and all of a sudden you're at $1,000 a month. Yeah, can you guys do that for us?
Short answer is yes. It depends on exactly what you want and where you want to get that kind of data from, and then how you want to use that data, because as we know, AI thrives on data, but what you do with it is even more important. So how you implement that, how quickly, how seamlessly, and also with the least maintenance possible on that system. So yes, we can absolutely do that.
I have a question, but I'm going to start with, I'm absolutely amazed, guys. Absolutely brilliant. The question that always intrigues me is when you start these projects, you've got a plethora of options. So many tools out there now that purport to be brilliant AI platforms. How do you go about picking the ones you chose to use?
Some of it comes down to just experience in doing these things a lot, and often the most obvious choice is not the best choice. And so as we went through this process as a team, we started to look at, okay, are we going to build this with AI agents? Do we have to build API calls? Do we have to build a scraper? All of this was going to take way too much time for the allotted time that we had. So we went to look at, okay, well, what are some of the key areas here that we need to make this work, and then quickly evaluated based on their capabilities and their cost. And also, of course, use ChatGPT to help give us time estimates based on these different projects. So if we executed it version 1 or version 2 and so on, how long that would take, what kind of resources in terms of manpower, and what kind of financial resources that would take to execute. And that's how we came up with those 4 different options for like building from scratch, building the SaaS model, or doing it this way, which was our fast, cheap, and really easy to maintain way of actually creating this solution. Any other questions?
I've got one more question.
Yeah.
It's a simple one. Who in the audience, just hands up, is absolutely gobsmacked at the moment? Yeah, these are uni students. These are not seasoned professionals who have been working 10, 20, 30 years, but I think that is their asset. There's no legacy, no presumption about how it works. This is the future, and going back to the Human 2.0, we need to learn how to be as good as that.
Perhaps I will talk whilst we are getting the technical stuff sorted out. So our little bit of paper we got given was, how can I sort of respond, or what technologies could be used to respond to a tender faster and incorporate information we know about our business. So a lot of tender bidding involves, a lot of drafting and all this information, and how can we make this process faster? We used a tool specifically called Relevance AI, which I really encourage everyone to look into. Before this morning, none of us had actually used that platform at all. So we probably spent 50% of our time understanding how it works and the limitations and so on. And we'll take it away.
Hey guys, my name is Abi. This is Taha, and that's Archer over there. We study at RMIT. We do business and accounting, so AI is not in our background. The only AI we use is ChatGPT to pass classes, but that's all we got going on for us. I'm going to be the only one speaking today, unfortunately, so you guys are going to hear a lot of me. But the first thing I want to talk about is easing the tendering process with AI. So as many of you would know, the process involves a larger company opening it up to a bunch of smaller companies, and then smaller companies sort of trying to have a fight for that job or for that role. This takes a lot of time, and around 80% of the tendering process can be done by AI. So this is stuff like the business name, the location, the business ABN, and all these other niche things. So our aim was to sort of slow this down. I'll speed this up, sorry. Speed it up, sorry. Next one. So there's three main issues with the process. The first one is that it is a manual process. So a lot of people in the office, they have to actually write down every little thing, which can be quite time consuming. The second one is there is inefficient data management. So in order to get a tendering role, a lot of companies will actually apply for thousands and thousands of different jobs, and this would take a lot of time again, and we would probably apply for multiple jobs twice. And the last one would be an increased cost. So the cost would obviously increase when we have more people trying to plug in the numbers. If we can get AI to do this, then we can lay off people, and then we can save money, which is great. So for this, we made an example company, again using ChatGPT. This company was known as Road Guard Logistics. It is a fictional company, and it is a freight moving company, so trucks and trains and everything. And we made an issue around this. So the issue was that we wanted to make a platform where the business owners or the business managers could actually assess the mental health of the truck drivers in locations which don't have internet. So the first process that we had to do for this is obviously we had to involve the entire team. So we had to brainstorm, and we had to gather input from the entire team, from all departments. Unfortunately, we didn't have much from us three, so we had to use the help of our lovely team members here as well. And secondly, the team members provided a unique perspective on different departments. And the third one was that the collaboration itself helped us understand the specific needs and the challenges of this tendering process. Now, we had to create a solution. The first step in this solution was to actually collect a bunch of data and information about truck drivers and the way they move and where they travel from. The second part of this was to train our AI model and make it understand what we're actually looking for. Now, with the AI model, it was quite tricky. If we messed anything up, we would have to start from the start because AI did not understand what we were trying to say, unfortunately. And the last step was to actually integrate this solution using different levels of AI. So the three questions, or the three things that we looked at, was the first one was an automated question generation. So this AI itself would just ask us questions based on the specific tender requirements and based off the industry that we're in. So whether that's hospitality, trucking, construction, anything like that. The second thing was the reduced manual effort. So as I said before, around 80% of the tendering process can be done through AI. So that was our main issue there. And that in turn will improve the efficiency of the company itself. Now, within our solutions, there were two AIs that we looked at. The first one was Obsidian. Obsidian is a platform that specializes in providing AI-powered solutions for document processing and knowledge management. The way we did this was, if you can see in that first screenshot, the one in the middle, in the top left-hand corner, there's numbers 1 to 7. This is everything that we required in the process itself. So that would be the company name, the location, the restrictions, and everything there. Then AI would answer those questions for us, and in the second screenshot, towards the right, you can see the word next. That is based off of us. So if we were happy with the response that AI actually gave us, then we would press next, and then it would move on to the next part of the process. If not, we would have to go from the start and get AI to actually use the same principles and re-answer the question. Although Obsidian does have multiple advantages, we did decide to go with Relevance AI in more detail. We are going to show you a quick video after about how it worked. We did explore both options, and we thought that this one was the best. Now, there are three main challenges of using the new AI software. The first one was integration. We have to integrate these softwares with existing systems within the computer, which will be quite difficult. The next one was training. Although AI is pretty smart, if you mess up any word, it does not understand it. We learned that the hard way. So we had to go through and we had to keep going through it, and that just had to train the AI model itself to actually understand what we're doing. And the final one, which we didn't quite get around to, but that was security. So we have to ensure that the privacy of customers and the businesses are there when using AI. And here is the quick video.
So this is Obsidian, this is Relevance AI, and what we're looking at is how the sausage was made. So this is the tender we quickly put together. It's a really high-level tender about this mental health driver fatigue app. And the first step in the process here is we upload that tender to the AI. It's then just processing it, grabbing some initial information. The next step here is the next agent in the chain. So this is your company information. So about you, how you work, your processes. We're just training the AI or giving it the information on this step so it understands what we're about. Secondly, we're converting that PDF that we uploaded, converting it into text, because natively AI models can't understand PDFs, but they can read the text input. The next step in the chain is we're identifying the different questions in the tender. So understanding the context and seeing what you need to answer. The fourth step is an AI is actually answering these questions from the previous step. So you can see these steps feed into each other. It's a chain. At the end of the chain, we're going to have the result. So we've answered the questions. We've got the scope. We've got the questions. Now this AI model is combining the two together. So this is producing the final output here, which in a couple of seconds is a fully fledged tender response, which is nicely formatted, includes information about RoadGuard logistics that the project we're tendering for, but also integrates the actual information from the bidder itself. So, this company, Tech Advantage, I can't read the solutions there, the info that I put up the front, it talks about, they're ISO compliant and all the other parts that an organization has. So we did a rough calculation here, and we said that this probably saved about 80% of the time, and it took us really, after understanding how the platform worked, it probably took us about, I would say, 50 minutes or so to put this together, and this is something that every business could be doing today.
Yes, so with AI, we did this task in around 4 hours. It would have taken 4 weeks, for an estimated 4 weeks. We built this whole thing in 4 hours. Most of it was the slides and the video and the food outside and everything, obviously. But yes, it did take us around 4 hours to do this whole thing. Thank you.
Very specifically, Kyle here did the vast majority of the learning and the writing of that platform, whilst we sat around making jokes. Thank you. Any questions about what we built today? So this is a fully fledged platform software that could be usable right now. Yeah.
Working together, I would probably not work with these two again. But no. But no, the main thing that I learned is that we all have different views about AI and different types of AI that we should have used. Again, we looked at two different types. Both of us wanted to use the second one. He wanted to use the first one. So it was just a bit of different, but yeah, that's the main thing.
Slow you down. What was the thing that stopped you from learning that?
The main thing was actually understanding how it works with the AI. Coding is not our background, as I said before, so it was quite difficult to just understand it, especially when we asked it something and it just wouldn't give us an answer, which was a bit annoying, but yeah.
Learn how to code when you're younger. Learn how to code. That was the biggest problem. Like we were able to watch the videos and then understand, what information we need to put in, but maybe not the reason behind it or, how that gets to that. So that's probably the only difference. Just probably watch the videos before we start doing it.
What are some of the strengths of, is it relevance? Relevance? And why was that tool used over the other one?
Yeah, definitely. So The strengths are you would have seen like each sort of little section in that chain there was an individual component that we worked on. It was quite sort of simple, and you started at the start and you built upon it. And it had tools that we dragged and dropped. So converting a PDF to text or asking an AI model to do this sort of task. It also has like hundreds of other integrations. It can scrape websites and integrate with other tools and stuff. So that was the main reason we did it, because it's sort of fast to get a result. The Obsidian, so Robin suggested the first option with Obsidian, which looked fantastic.
Yeah, so Obsidian is a very free-form tool, and so it's very fast to get stuff going. I got the answer out in maybe 20 minutes, but you need to know how to guide it, and it's not a repeatable process. You'd have to go through that and know how to do it again for the next tender, whereas their solution was set up so that it could rinse and repeat, and so that's why we went with that. So our idea was to prove that we got something working, so that if we couldn't get the second one working, at least we had a working proof. And so that's why we went the way we did.
I have one question of interest. You mentioned that you're not from a software background. How did that work as an asset or a benefit, considering you're working with AI?
It was an asset because the business that we did was on like vehicle and motor vehicle industry. So being in like the finance background, we did know about the numbers and how far they travel, how much it would cost, all these sort of things, because numbers is kind of our thing.
Correct. There's, as we move into an AI space, especially the examples of the software we're using today, how much coding was involved in that? Zero? Yeah, zero code. Zero code on both. The power, in my opinion, of not having a software background is you're not constrained by the logic and presumptions of software management. You will see the business problem and solve the business problem regardless of what the software can do. That's what you're looking for. A coder, no offense, I've got a software background myself, will look at the code and try and find the patterns and the logic and the analysis and then go, oh, what's the problem we're solving again? And so I actually think, like I was saying before, like the future's on the stage, I think that software development is going to be driven by business people, accountants, finances, not by software developers.
You guys' question. Did I convince any of you guys to quit your degree and start working on AI? Because that was my intention with this. No, I know it's, but my real question would be, have I inspired any of you guys to play with, or have we play with any of the stuff in your own time or find solutions, or?
Yes, it was fantastic. It was great. Yes, I'll probably play around with AI. I don't know much about it, but it was very interesting that it did the whole thing for us. So that was pretty cool.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. I'm Stuart Thomas. I'm the education lead in RMIT's Blockchain Innovation Hub. I sit alongside Chris Berg, who some of you will have heard from yesterday. We do teach AI. And we do it quite a lot, but it's coming, and we are talking about ChatGPT emerging in 2022, 2023, and realistically there's some things we have to do in a highly regulated environment like higher education in order to get stuff in front of students. That said, I want to make some observations about what you've seen this afternoon. Firstly, about RMIT students, let me spruik my shop a little bit. I'm an RMIT alumnus twice. Third generation RMIT alumnus, actually, grandfather and father before me. I came to RMIT some years ago as an undergraduate student, and I chose it on the advice of someone who was a hiring manager of graduates, whose advice I respected and still do. And I was offered a couple of places at a couple of different universities in Melbourne, and I said, which one should I choose? And Andrew said to me, go to RMIT. I said, why? Because you'll come out being able to do stuff. Now, what have you seen this afternoon? young people doing stuff quickly and in short order. And this is happening much, much, much faster than ever before now. Young people like these two teams of people that you've seen this afternoon are becoming now very adept at working in multidisciplinary teams, taking on new problems very quickly, and the methods in which they're doing it and the environments in which they're doing it are the sorts of things that you've seen today. They're learning in fast spin up, sometimes fast fail, hackathon and project type environments. And this is the sorts of skill sets that they're coming out with. This kind of rapid adaptability, coming to things without a whole lot of preconceptions and very sort of structured ways of thinking. And that's, I think, the coolest thing that's coming out of university teaching now, out of tech, out of STEM, out of business. And I'm trying to be brief, but it's hard. That's great. There was a question from my friend here about how would I feel as an educator about these young people abandoning or stepping out of their degrees and going and getting jobs and going and working in AI. Personally, and this is a little controversial around where I work, I think that would be cool. We're in a different kind of world now, a very unstructured sort of world, and it behoves young people, I think, to have their eyes open and jump on opportunities and create their own futures. And if that means landing on a thing that is exciting and has a future and is their own, and that happens before they graduate, then by all means, go off and do it. Go and join someone like Chris, or go and join this gentleman here. And if you want to come back to doing study later, then do that. Create your future the way you want to. But if you want to go and find some young people like this to come and help you build your businesses, if you want to enjoy the kinds of capability that you've seen this afternoon in your business environment, hit us up.
You asked the question, are they being trained about AI? And the answer was no, but only a few minutes before he said he was using ChatGPT. Which to me implies they're using it so intuitively they don't even know they're using it. Thank you very much.
Don't forget the computer.